Let's talk about the book.
Yes.
Can we talk about the book?
We can talk about the book.
Okay. So let's talk about the Phenomenal Woman.
Yes.
Book.
Yes.
How did that come to be?
Well, I can say that for a long time I have had a passion to write. As a matter of fact, some people don't know that I've written poetry. I actually desktop published a book myself during the time I was battling with fibromyalgia. The Lord gave me 12 pieces of poetry. I wrote them laying on my bed with all the pain. And I actually desktop published it, and it was titled Inspirational Poetry to a New Life of Hope. And I got excited. I desktop published about 100 copies. I sold them all, and then I just stopped. The end. Well, fast forward, the Lord
sounds like originals. Whoever got those
they,
originals.
Yes, and they still have them. And but I've always liked to write. Well, the story that has yet to be heard is the story about me being a survivor of sexual abuse, molestation, and that story was buried for a long time. It was buried in my heart, and just recent as this year, around March, for the first time, I stood on a public platform and told my story about, and I use the word survivor, but I'm graduating to using the word overcomer. And God is showing me that because to be a survivor is to exist and to be able to function, but being an overcomer is much greater. So I am able to share that story. I was making a comment on social media, Facebook, about the fact that we all have scars and we all have been bruised, and that one of the scars that I have is from molestation. And someone saw that posting and inboxed me and talked to me about the possibility of being a part of a project where there would be 12 authors sharing and telling their stories about life's ups and downs. And I did accept that to be a part of that project. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you're ready for me to tell the story again and to be able to help some people that might feel like, you know, they have a story, but there's no glory. Well, God has definitely allowed not only me, but others to see the glory in my story by serving Him and being able to help and mentor others that have life's ups and downs. So the name of the book is A Phenomenal Woman, That's Me. And so I will be co-authoring along with 11 other ladies about their stories.
You have a daughter. You have one daughter.
Yes.
And I have one daughter, and I like to think I'm her everything. You know, she looks to me because I'm the only woman in the house.
Yes.
When your daughter was growing up, you were the only woman in the house. Do you share that story with her? How do you share that story with your daughter? Is that something that you shared with her before?
Well, let me just say, it was never my intentions to share the story with anyone. I was 48 years of age before I shared that story with anyone. Including my husband. I am 55 years of age, so as you can see, that hasn't been a long time.
Right.
I was 13 years of age when I was molested during those years of my life. And so you can see how many years I went, you know, suffering in silence. And so when I shared that story with my husband, it was at that same time that I shared that story with my children. At that same time and during that same time period. But I didn't go into the details that I have gone with my daughter, because at that time she was too young to really hear some of the things that I wanted to share with her. But she now understands the in-depthness of what that looked like and what that meant and the effect that it had on my life. even before she was born, even after her being born, and even, you know, to this day, you know, how did that affect me? And I believe that my daughter, even though she knows that I'm healed and whole, I think that if you were to ask her, she can feel that pain. She can feel that.
Feel it?
She could feel that pain for me at that time, going back into that time. I think she could, you know, can relate just because of the relationship we have. I think that she can identify with what that may have done to me and the decisions that I made over the years. But I also know that she can identify with the fact that we serve a God that even though that happened to me, I am whole, and I can talk about it without literally shedding the tears. I've gotten to that point where I can talk about it without shedding the tears because God has made me whole. But in addition to that, I think my focus and priority is to help others be made whole and to show that strength. And I'm not being fake or phony. I'm whole.
Yeah.
I cry for the perpetrator. In other words, my tears that are being shed is for the one that you know, that the enemy has held captive to even carry out such an act. And so, yeah, I have shared it with her.
It's on again. Whoa.